Hello and welcome to another edition of Hydro Geek podcast. So today I'll discuss about 10 most significant news of the first week of December 2024 from the world of water, power and informatics. Now, although I am referring it as first week of December, but actually these are collected from the last 15 days of the month of November. Okay, so I think rather than referring it as first week of December, let me refer it as the last fortnight of November 2024. So let us begin. The first news is University of South Florida scientists used the Chris Hazard app to analyze real-time flooding in Pinellas County and Hillsborough County during hurricanes Helene and Milton. The app, developed in collaboration with Georgia Tech, uses volunteered geographical information and, more especially, the community crowdsourced data to identify the estimated water elevation, which enables them to take informed policy making and emergency management. So I think this is one of the very rare example where a crowdsourced data along with the app is used to monitor the water level of the different surface water bodies, which ultimately helped the policy managers to adopt emergency mitigation measures such that the impact of these two cyclones, Helene and Milton, can be countered. Okay, and as per the news received, they were quite successful in doing so. So you can find more about that if you go to my blog. My newsletter Hydrogeek. If you go through the Hydrogeek newsletter last post, then you can find about this in a more detail. Okay. The next is ocean saltwater is creeping up the Delaware River in the USA and threatening the Philadelphia's drinking water. So actually, what is happening is the saline water intrusion through the Delaware River is mixing with the source of water from where Philadelphia gets its drinking water, and that's the amount of saline water intruded is actually making that source salty. So either you invest more money to desalinate it, or you have to drink that. That is the problem due to this saline water intrusion. Okay. Now, next news is the United Nations Climate Change Conference COP29. As you know, it was conducted in the last week. So it aimed to triple funding for the developing countries such that they can combat climate change. And there they have devised a new collective quantified goal on climate finance, where it aims to fund around $300 billion annually by 2035 for the developing nations. So they are referring this new decision regarding climate finance as NCQG. And this conference also agreed on carbon markets for faster and more affordable climate plans. As you know, by now you all know about carbon markets. So it is, in summary, I can say that any institute which is saving carbon will be paid by any institute which is emitting carbon. That is, in a nutshell, what carbon market is. Okay, and there are more details to it, more complexity to it. That carbon amount will be traded in a stock-like market, and it is just like share. The price of carbon will go up and go down, and all these things are there. The only thing is that the institute or establishment or the country or the region who is taking the pain to reduce carbon generation will be paid by those who is not taking the pain to reduce its total carbon output. So in this way, the the institute which is generating carbon will become more alert because they have to pay. And the institute which is saving carbon, they will take more optimal measures to save more carbon such that they can earn more, right? So once you imbibe the monetary factor into something, the success rate increases like anything. So that is a good decision, sorry, according to me. Now, the next news is also related to COP29. Here they have signed a agreement where it enables funds to be deposited due to climate related loss and damage. So there are lots of catastrophes going on all around the world. Number of extreme events has increased a lot compared to the last decade. Every week, every month, we are getting a new cyclone or new hurricane, which is devastating, which has a devastating consequences in both for the mankind, not only the mankind, but also the properties lost, the agricultural output lost, the drink water contaminated due to this type of cyclones. The impact is huge. So all the countries who have participated in COP29 has agreed to create a fund, and it is expected to start financing the all those climate related loss and damage projects from at least from next year. This is another positive decision that was taken in COP29. Next is in October 2024, the US drought monitor reported that over 54% of the US is in moderate to severe drought, with 87% abnormally dry or in drought, with 48 states being the most drought stricken in 25 years. So you can see just by this one line news, just imagine what is in store for us in the coming days. 54% of US is under drought. Yes, I agree, it is moderate to severe, but it is under drought. And whereby uh, 87% are abnormally dry. So that is really a point of concern which is reported by the drought monitor in October 2024. The next is the Environmental Protection Agency (EPA) has revealed that this is another very bad news. I would say a news of concern. EPA has revealed that over 11 million people in the US have PFAS in their drinking water as part of the UCMR5 testing mandated by the agency. Now, you will say, what is PFAS? It is not very popular in the developing nation, rather than it is more popular in the developed nation, I would say. So PFAS stand for perfluoroalkyl and polyfluoroalkyl substances. They are group of chemicals made by humans. Okay, they are inorganically made. And since the 1950s, PFAS have been used in many consumer products and industrial processes. But the problem is uh, that this PFAS can leak into soil, water, and air also, and people can be exposed to them in many ways. So they can consume the PFAS, which has already contaminated their water or food. So even using the products made with PFAS and also breathing air that contains PFAS, the result is a prolonged exposure to PFAS has been linked to health effects, including cancer. And if not cancer, it will damage your hormonal system, it may damage your reproductive system, and even it can hamper the development of the fetus. Moreover, it can impact the immune system and reduced responses to vaccines in children. The last point is very important: reduced responses to vaccines in children. And nowadays, after COVID 19, viral diseases is the most important reason for the mortality of mankind. So, when due to global warming, temperature is increasing, so is the viral effects. And if there is viral effects, we need vaccines to counter them. But if you are exposed to PFAS, then those vaccines will have reduced response. The time of response will be reduced, delayed, especially in children. And as you can easily conclude, or any man can easily conclude by using their common sense, that is not a good thing to see. Okay. So we must do something to prevent the release of PFAS into our natural resources like soil, water, and air. But however, all those measures that we are taking till now is failed because USA, one of the most developed countries, has PFAS in their drinking water, which is supplied to over 11 million people. So you can understood the situation. Okay, never mind. Let us go to the next news. Germany's Fraunhofer Institute for Energy Economics and Energy System Technology has developed a pumped energy storage system. It's a new type for the seabed. Generally, energy storage system is installed in in a river or by connecting two wetlands, one at a higher elevation, another at a lower elevation. But here they have installed it in the seabed, and they are referring it as STENSEA, STENSEA, which will anchor a 400-ton concrete sphere at a depth of 500 to 600 meters, charging and discharging electricity through it when water flows in. So they are basically two concrete spheres. So what will happen is they will be installed in the ocean bed, and due to the waves in the ocean, well, one concrete has the water flowing in, another concrete from another concrete sphere, the water will flow out. So it both flow in and flow out. There will be a bidirectional turbine which can produce electricity in both way, whether it is rotating clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, it can produce electricity both ways. So while the water is flowing in into the concrete sphere, it will produce electricity. When water flows out of the concrete sphere, it can produce electricity. So both way it can produce electricity. So that is what that Germany's Fraunhofer Institute for Energy Economics and Energy System Technology has designed, but it is pilot stage, not experimented real time. So let us see. Let us hope that it becomes successful, and it will. If it is become successful, then a lot of energy can be produced through this type of fuelless system. Okay. So the next one is EcoWave Power, provider of onshore wave energy technology, inaugurated the Israel's first pilot station for generating electricity from sea waves. Right, so the first wave power plant for Israel is now installed in the Jaffa port, and December 5 is the inauguration date. And this is done by EcoWave Power, a company which provides onshore wave energy technology. Correct. So all the details of all this news can be found in my newsletter, latest post. So you can visit my newsletter at hydrogeek.substack.com and subscribe to that. And you can get all the details of this news. The next news that shook the world of power, water power, and informatics is Scottish buried energy company Motion Energy has raised 3,86,770 from its crowdfunding campaign on Crowdcube. The campaign aims to finance the next phase of the company's growth plan, transition from R&D to commercialization and internationalization. Okay, so this company Motion is involved in using web power, solar power, how to develop more efficient battery storage system to deliver renewable power and communication. Now, this renewable energy power plant has used crowdfunding to generate its capital. Okay, so this is also one of the rare instances where crowdfunding is used or utilized to fund renewable energy power plant, which is involved in generating wave power plant, wave energy, and also solar energy and battery storage. Okay, so that's also a nice positive development. And again, we have a good news for EcoWave Power. So this company is now really shaking the world of water power and informatics. So EcoWave Power has reported its third quarter result of 2024. So it has sailed a power station in Taiwan, a milestone in an Israel-based project. I think I have just now discussed about that. First wave power plant in Israel in Jaffa port, and the company achieved several similar milestones. But moreover, it has achieved 10% reduction in expenses from the second to third quarter. So the expenditure, the expenditure required to run all its project, they are able to reduce it by 10%. And in case of Taiwan, also, EcoWave Power has signed its first wave energy project cell agreement with a company known as IK, International Ocean Energy. It is which is financing a 100 kilowatt pilot project. And Israel thing I have already discussed. So the main point of this news is 10% reduction in expenses. That's the point because renewable energies sources required huge expenditure to run. Now, if we can reduce even 5% of that expense, it's a big, big achievement, and they have achieved 10% reduction. So it's a big thing. I will surely appreciate their operational optimization that they have done. Okay, I yes, Taiwan they have their first wave energy power plant, Israel first wave energy power plant, but these are all okay. But the 10% reduction is very important that they have achieved compared to their earlier quarter. Okay, so that's a big thing that I can assure you. Okay, so many people ask me that wow, how you select this news. We I select the news based on its impact and its role in developing the future actions of uh, policymakers in water, power, and informatics world. So that is my main criteria. Take this example of this unknown company. I'd rather say EcoWave Power. Okay, you and me are not very well known about that. They are not Shell. They are not Reliance. They are not Adobe. We do not know much about them. They are simple EcoWave Power, but they are doing what we need most. They are reducing expenditure for generating renewable energy. Okay, so that's a big thing because in the coming days we need renewable energy to replace all the conventional fuel source. Then only we can have a sustainable future. So these are the things, these are the criteria, like this crowd-funded renewable energy power plant, Ocean Energy Power Farm. There is a crowdfunding. It's a new thing. If government is not paying money, if no investors are not there, venture capitalists are not interested in your project, then go for crowdfunding. Okay, because real man, common man knows what is the main problem. And similarly, COP29 newses, they are very important because they are the conference where the major players who, if they want, can control the impact of climate change manifold. They collaborate in those type of meetings, COP29 type meetings, and they decide many things. Although what we want, they're not taking that. But yes, some part of our targets, our objective is being fulfilled. Okay, so that is why I have taken COP29 news also. Okay, and this saline water intrusion, due to which drinking water of Philadelphia is threatened in USA. So that's also a very important point. Okay, so like this highly impactful news only we collect in uh, this post, and generally I post this type of news posts 3 times a month. So So three times I collect the most significant news of the last fortnight or last 10 days, and I try to share it with you people. So, but if you do not comment to my post or if you do not share to your peers who you know that will be interested, then without feedback, I cannot develop myself. So I wholeheartedly request you to give some feedback, to give some comments, such that I can develop this type of posts. Okay, so if you want to add your news, it can also be possible. It is also possible. Just post a comment with your news. I will surely include them in my next post related to most significant news that shook the world of water, power, and informatics. Thank you for now. Ciao, and see you in the next post. Thank you.